The Salt River Pima were the most obese population in the world.
My parents became diabetic. As a way to help them, I decided, maybe I should go learn how to cook differently for them.
Western diet to indigenous people has caused more suffering than anything.
I actually gained about 50 pounds in culinary school. I was learning about foods that weren't familiar to me genetically. These foods were introduced into our diets upon colonization. So then you have all these diseases now because of that.
My mother worked in a dialysis unit. It's huge and it shouldn't be. You clean your blood because your organs, your pancreas, your kidneys, they can't function. They have shut down because of the foods that we're eating. It's scary, and that's the last thing that I want to see myself or my son in that state.
For me, ancestral foods tied back to the original foods of my family, my ancestors, like the beans, the corn, the squash.
These crops are called three sisters because they all lend each other resources. The corn, the squash, and the tepary beans continue to be a major staple to our people.
For me, it's like I'm reconnecting with my historical identity. I'm reconnecting with all of my family before who ate these foods. Ever since I've learned all of these things about indigenous foods and indigenous farming, it's like I can never ever be satisfied with eating anything that comes out of the grocery store. If I want to eat my traditional foods, I have to grow my traditional foods.
Me being here as the only Thanatan staff member, it means a lot. And I'm trying to do my best to be that agent of change.
Not until my last birth, where I was bedridden, did I really tune in and focus on food. After 3 months, I go with the doctor and then they tell me I no longer needed diabetes medication or hypertension medication. And in between pregnancies, I found out that I had stage 4 liver disease, and that was now gone, all associated with my indigenous plant-based diet.
Genetically, my body knows these foods. Genetically, my body knows these plants.
I think that if we grow our own and we see the value in that work and we emphasize you have these gifts deep down inside you as autumn, you'll be okay, and you'll be healthier.
Indigenous foods have helped save my life, really, because I was able to know which healing teas or herbs, dishes to use, and being able to manage my own health, knowing that I have the power to do that using these foods. I don't know where I would be otherwise,
I have my own voice that echoes the ancestors.
Because I couldn't just be a chef and make food for people with a clear conscience, knowing that all of these things were going on. And ever since I quit my job and decided to dedicate my time to food and showing the importance of the water, I was like, okay, I can't go back. I can't. I feel like I want to take this information that I'm learning and put it back into my community.
My husband says we need to help other people. That was the birth of Sana Sana. And the name Sana Sana for us means to sanar in Spanish means to heal. Selling a plate of food wasn't the important thing. For us, it was the community learning about these foods and how they could help heal them.
And I've been here 4 years, and every year was, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do with all this food? We should encourage people to come and taste it. We should make this accessible to everybody.
It's a good way to get these people out and go look, this is what we used to do and this is what we used to eat.
For us, it was really important to reintroduce these indigenous foods to community.
And educate people so that the identity doesn't get lost. There's an awakening happening.
We don't have to be colonized. We don't have to go to the store for food. We don't have to work for money.
They never really let us be sovereign people in documentation and in day-to-day.
It's really hard as indigenous peoples to say, we're working towards food sovereignty because a lot of us don't have access to our water, access to land, access to seeds.
What is sovereign is doing everything in your power and everything in your knowledge to keep your culture alive, to keep your language alive. If we don't have that, we become dependent on food that is not our own. We become something that we're slowly not able to recognize anymore.
I want my kids to know the land. I want them to know how to grow food. I want them to know how to find clean water.
The vision I have for the future is for indigenous peoples or urban indigenous peoples to have access to land, to gain some momentum towards having that food sovereignty, and really just relearn our traditional or ancestral ways of being.
It's okay to not recognize or have known the taste of these foods, but the fact that you're doing it, you're willing, that means there's a sovereignty happening in each individual person, and that means something.